everybody, welcome back. Guess what? It is our second season of Live on Purpose. It's your girl Purpose, and I am truly excited about our guest tonight, Chris Marvell, relationship expert, motivational speaker, and more coming in just a second. But first of all, let me shout out these fabulous shoes I have on from Lavish Heels. Thank you so much for sponsoring tonight, as well as jewelry by Tracy Lynn Jewelry from Yolanda Miller. Stick around. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Welcome back. It is Live on Purpose, and as I told you earlier, we have Chris Marvell with us. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad you could make it on the show.
Pleasure.
Excited for this conversation tonight, though, because you are the relationship expert. So talk to me about that. What made you go that way? Because that's a sticky way to go.
I've been almost coaching relationships for just about almost 10 years.
Wow.
It started with general life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Then I kind of just went into the whole relationship aspect of it.
Okay.
I'm a certified marriage coach as well. I also coach with my wife. We've been married 5 years now. So
awesome! Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And we have a good depth of knowledge for the first 5 years. I don't pretend to coach people who are been married 40, 50 years.
Right, okay.
That's a whole nother ballgame.
Yes, it is.
But for those who are just kind of getting their feet wet, understanding what marriage is, how to get through some of the basics, that's what I do.
Okay. Now, what made you start there? Is that something you're passionate about, or what made you start with relationships and marriage?
It's a passion.
Okay.
More than anything, I grew up seeing, my mother and father not work.
Okay.
I grew up kind of seeing my mom and my stepfather not work.
Okay.
And I wanted to, I have a really big passion for families and to put families back into focus, with so much of the world kind of tearing families down with, so many different things.
Absolutely.
Family is the thing that's going to build our community back together. It's not necessarily just jobs. It's not necessarily just education. A lot of it has to do with the semblance of family, and we have that back together. If I can play any part in that, then I think I've done my job.
That's awesome. Now, what is like the core of your kind of platform with relationships? What is that core, the one thing you speak to the most and bring people back to when you're coaching?
That God loves us.
Okay.
Overall, anything else, as long as, if I feel in my estimation that, when God is in the center of anything, that things can be brought together.
Absolutely.
And as long as I instill that into, whatever I'm doing, the people that I'm coaching will feel that. And so the foundation and the principles, what I speak about, come from that God-centered place.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Kind of
so
awesome.
Now, what keeps you inspired? Motivational speakers are motivating everybody else, inspiring everyone else. What keeps you inspired?
There's a few things. I think one, I have a 2-year-old who's going on 3.
Okay.
That keeps me inspired.
Of course,
that keeps my needle moving. And I think for me, it's about setting a legacy. It's about finally setting a legacy for my family. Look at my family and the history of my family, and we've never been bad people. But we can't look back on any one thing and say that's what we did well.
Okay.
And I want to be that person to start that.
Right.
And I think that early on I kind of figured that I was the first male in my family. I was the one that was kind of like hurrah'd and cheered.
Okay.
And as much as that's cool to do, you have to do something with that. And I felt that there was a charge put on my life to do something with that, and I kind of found that purpose in my life very early.
Okay. What is it about Chris Marvell that people listen and are engaged in the conversation, or engaged in what you have to say?
Just for me, I'm a truth teller.
Okay.
But I do it softly. I do it in a way that you can receive it. I mean, truth without any type of grace is like surgery without anesthesia.
Okay.
And so you have to be able to give it to where people can feel it. And I'm able to do that because I know in my marriage and even in my friendships that you can say something that is poignant, that is profound.
Right.
But if you say it where it cuts me, Well, then now I can't hear you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the delivery.
It's the delivery.
Of what you have to say.
Tone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, what experiences have made you grow in this capacity with your own marriage?
Oh my goodness. You know, we've had ups and downs. You know, no marriage is without any fault.
Right.
You know, I remember when we were doing our premarital counseling, and we were thinking that we were rock stars. You know, we never had any arguments, never fell out. And she told us, she said, you know, I won't marry you until you have an argument. Because
I love that.
That's
awesome. Yeah.
a lot of truth about who you are comes out into
Absolutely.
arguments. It shows how you deal with conflict. It shows a lot of your home of origin. You know, how did your mother and father argue? It shows so much about where you've come from when you can finally disagree. So, yeah.
It'll tell where we're going too. You know?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. How much you truly respect me and love me.
Right.
About what comes out your mouth and how you act.
Absolutely. I love that. She's pretty smart, huh?
I think so.
Okay. Well, tell me this. Do you feel that black families and black love is indeed different from any other?
I mean, absolutely. I think anything, I think any culture has its own separate, you know, distinctions. You know, we come from, you know, an aspect, of course, you know, first off, I think that people mistake and say that they think that black culture starts with slavery, you know, and our culture starts with being kings and queens and being inventors and being rulers and being, you know, passionate builders. You know, it wasn't until, you know, many hundreds and centuries of years later where we had a little hiccup, you know, with history, but yet and still we continue to strive forward. And I think that when you look at the essence of black families, we have a strength within us that sometimes we don't even know where it comes from, but it's just so deeply instilled with us. And that comes from our history. That comes from, you know, the things that we've seen our parents overcome, that we've heard the stories of great grandma, which she's overcame.
Right.
So I think it's that history and that sense of strength that we do have.
Right. So if you were to give advice to today's woman looking for, you know, her Boaz or what have you, or waiting for him to find her, what is that thing that we don't understand about men that's the key?
That's a great question.
I know. I'm pretty good at this.
Let me actually, I'll give this to you because I've spoken about this recently, where I think that I want women to fully understand that sex with men is completely different in his mind than it is with yours.
Absolutely.
And in a sense of physiologically, we look at sex, and something happens to us different than happens to you. And I think that for so long, women have traded sex for love, and men are easily able to trade love for sex because it's not long lasting.
Right.
So we'll lay with the woman. And we'll give everything we need, time, attention, whatever it is.
Right.
But the minute that we have sex with you, something to you happens where you're locked in.
Right.
You're wondering why we didn't call. You're wondering where's the good morning text? You know, where's the hey big head text? You're looking, where is that?
Right.
But he's already conquered because there's something in him that desires to conquer. And once he's conquered it, he's moved on.
Right.
And it's not that he doesn't want to stick around. You just gave him the prize too early. So he doesn't have anything to stick around for.
Right.
Unless there are rare occasions where that can happen. But for the most part, that's why you have serial relationships.
Well, speaking of that, though, when you talk about the man not giving the text and doing those types of things and being comfortable with that, are there also men who tie emotions to sex? Is that a rarity, or is it just kind of, you know, is it not really what men do?
Yeah, so I'm emotional. I'm all about because that's who we are. We're all emotional creatures. And for any man to say he's not emotional, you know, put a basketball game in front of him and watch his team lose in the championship and see how emotional you are.
Absolutely.
So you're emotional. We just think that love is a soft emotion that doesn't belong to us. So I'm all about love. You know, we love our children, we love our parents, but for some reason, the manhood in us has to come out when it comes to our partner. It's in us, and we desire it, but we have to have a safe place for it to come out. You know, I always say that, you know, relationships must be a place where a soft place to land. You know, it has to be you have to be a soft place to land for your partner. If you're not that, then that's where you get a closed up guy who is nothing but, you know, stern and solid, and he can't give you anything.
I like that. The soft place to land. That's really good. When you talk about Conqueror, though, for those women who are out there aggressively trying to find someone, is it true that men want to do the chasing by nature? They want to be the conqueror?
We desire to chase.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
the lion's in us.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
But we also want to know that the gazelle is available.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think sometimes, you know, especially in the last whole, 10, 15 years when the whole independent woman thing, kind of just took hold,
Mm-hmm.
I think that women became more closed off and making that man work for them.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. If Scandal comes on Thursday and you're sitting on the couch, and you and Olivia did something, you want to look left or right and you hope your boo is there.
Yeah.
But the only problem is that every time you get an opportunity to get the boo,
Mm-hmm.
you all closed up and looking like a diva. Well,
Right.
something has to
Yeah.
change. At some point, you have to at least smile, show that you're available, show that you're actually interested in dating.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, you're going to be the old diva that's going to be alone.
That's a good point. Good point. So I ask all my guests this. I'm going to have to ask you this as well. If Chris Marvell invited PurPose over for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
what's your favorite dish to cook, or what do people say you cook well? Because you might like to cook it, but it might not be good.
What do I cook?
Yes.
See, I only got one dish.
Okay.
And I actually cook the dish 3 times a year.
Okay.
After that, I'm done. I let
it.
my wife take over and let Chipotle have his reign.
Okay.
For me, it's chili.
Chili.
But I'm good at it though.
Okay. Now is it hot or is it?
It's
spicy?
in between.
Okay.
It's enough to make you grab your glass every now and then.
Okay.
But not enough for you to become upset at me.
Okay, good. That's good. How can the listeners and followers follow you and find out more information about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can follow me at Chris Marvell. You can follow me all over social media. You can also pick up my new book, Love Laws.
Oh, good.
You can get the book on thelovelaws.com. You can get it on Amazon,
Okay.
iBooks, wherever books are sold. Absolutely want to pick that up.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I hope that, I hope much success for you as you continue to get out there and help mend marriages and relationships and get people out on the right track.
Yes.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. That was Chris Marvell, relationship expert. Make sure you check him out. This is Live on PurPose. This is our 2nd season and we are very excited. Remember, we're on each and every Saturday on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, like, tell everybody, share with everyone, and we'll see you next Saturday. Thanks a lot, and this is Live on PurPose.